Division 1 Rejects, episode 92. Today is March 27th, gentlemen.
It is.
The snow is melting outside. Don't know if it's real or fake, but spring. Don't do this.
Lamar Jackson just requested a trade.
Shut up. Don't
Ravens.
do that. Don't do that. That's what we're talking about today. But before we get to all that stuff, we'll have Coach Bisch on from Texas A&M Kingsville. Super fun conversation with him. He's the new defensive coordinator down there. Spent a lot of time at D2. Spent some time at the NAIA D3 level. Played D3 with football up here in Wisconsin at River Falls. Otherwise, though, like he said, Lamar's requested a trade. He's out of Baltimore. UCF unveiled their brand new football campus on Twitter. It's freaking amazing. I don't even really know what to make. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. National champions, of course, so they have the funds, obviously. And Deion Sanders is making players earn their numbers. Ty, we're going to watch that video today, too.
I love it.
You do? I like it, too. I'm in favor of it. I think it's...
I like what he's doing so far. I like the videos of him,
Aside from him being like, my son gonna get number 2, but y'all can get everything else.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but yeah, I think he has this perception of being kind of corny and flashy and everything for the cameras, but like what he's been putting out there it's like pretty grounded, pretty real stuff. So we'll talk a lot about that later. But as always, you can watch this episode on YouTube if you are. Don't forget about the timestamps. Fast forward to any part of the conversation. Go listen to Coach Bisch, or go listen to about Deion, Lamar, UCF, any of it. So you can fast forward like that. Otherwise, listen pretty much anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. Follow us on Twitter, D1_Rejects, and Instagram, Division 1 Rejects, to see highlights from the show. Fellas, we'll get right into the conversation with Coach Bisch from Kingsville. Joining us tonight, Minnesota native, spent his playing days in Wisconsin at UW River Falls. He's since had a number of stops in his coaching career, the most recent being named the defensive coordinator of Texas A&M Kingsville. This man is a journeyman. I am excited to get him on the show tonight. Coach Bisch, welcome, man. Welcome to D1 Rejects, man.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
We were talking all about the mascot down there at Kingsville. I had to Google it, the Javelinas. You've got a stuffed one right outside the office. Why don't you care to explain for the listeners?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just one that they got, taxidermists must have did it. And there's a couple of them around here on campus that must have passed away or something happened to them. And so now they're just, mascots. But, you can find Javelinas around here at dusk, at dawn. They'll be hanging out in the ditches and they're looking for food. And they kind of travel in packs. They're called squadrons.
No shit. There's a squadron of Javelinas.
Squadrons, yeah.
That is awesome.
And people think they're these mean creatures, and they sure as hell can be. But they'll kind of leave you alone unless you're coming after them, and then they get pretty feisty, pretty mean.
I love that. So I thought, you look it up, and it says basically like a wild hog. Ty's looking at it right now on the phone. Yeah. It says basically a wild hog, but you said maybe even closer to like a big rodent.
Yeah, it's really more of. It's not technically part of like the swine family. Yeah, I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to say much more. Yeah.
Do y'all be eating javelina meat?
I think people do, but I'm not me. We have a on game day. I played down here last year as an opponent, and the environment's unbelievable. But on game day, they have a real javelina here, and they make like a train for the kids, man, and they pull it around the stadium, and it's like different train carts, and in the back train cart will be the caboose, I guess. Is a javelina, like a live javelina, just going crazy in this glass cage, man.
Is insane.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Terrorized. Why you going crazy? You're insane in that little box. Y'all playing the game, thinking he cheer y'all on.
I love that. But first of all, what I was going to start with is congrats on the new position. I mean, you're obviously staying in the same conference, but the move over has got to be a fun experience for you, and less of a move distance-wise than maybe what you're used to in the past. Some of your other moves have been a little bit more geographically probably challenging, but I'll start you off with a couple kind of softball type stuff. I'm looking through the Kingsville Athletic website. They've got beach volleyball and regular volleyball down there.
Like an official sport?
As official, yeah. That's NCAA. That's an NCAA thing.
Yeah,
that is sick, man. I mean, I'd go catch a beach volleyball game if we. Come on.
I thought you was gonna say you would make it on the team. I said,
no, come on, hey, come on. No, I'm not talented enough to do that.
But man, it's fun to watch.
That's sweet, man. And talking about just the team, first impression besides the stuffed pig when you walk into the building, what was the first impression of the guys, since you've been acquainted now? What was your first impression of the guys in that squad down there?
My first impression of this group, unfortunately came when I played against them and they kind of kicked my butt.
That's very true. Other sideline, right?
I thought they played extremely physical on the football field. Thought they were pretty disciplined, and they played hard, on all phases. And then when I got here, Coach Salinas, the head coach here, he's only been here a couple of years, and traditionally A&M Kingsville has been, probably one of the most historical Division II schools there is. And, over the last 20 plus years or so, it's been up and down. It hasn't been probably as consistent as they'd like it to be. But Coach Salinas got here, and I'll tell you what, my first impression when I came in here was I was so impressed, with the guys on the team and just their personalities and their demeanors and their attitudes. I mean, it was special. And I haven't heard, like, our guys don't complain about very much at all. If they do, we don't hear it. And I like to think that, I usually can pick up on that stuff, and I've just been so impressed with their attitudes about football and coming to work every day and having a good time and making each other better. We got some leaders around here that I've been really impressed with. And I'm just like thankful to be here because they've kind of established the culture before I got here. And now it's my, part of my job now is to help that culture grow. You know what I mean? I
love that. Yeah, and we can stick right on that, like leaders, talking about the upperclassmen, right? The guys that ultimately are going to make your program run. Looking at you guys, it looked like you already finished up spring ball down there, but defensively, you return from what it seems to me 4 of your top 5 leading tacklers from last year. And that stat can mean so many things, but those are guys that are going to make an impact, right, in every single game. And some other key pieces on that side of the ball, like I said, looks like it's going to feature a lot of upperclassmen. So talk about that group, and I'd imagine for you to come in there, it's got to be like finding a loaded gun, for lack of a better expression, man.
In some ways, you're correct. I think what I've been really impressed is, the previous defensive coordinator and previous guys on defense, they did a really good job of getting these guys prepared. They did a nice job recruiting guys at certain positions. And so, yeah, I'm just blessed to be in that situation. I think that, up front, we have some guys who are really special, like I mentioned. And then on the back end, I feel like there's some guys with experience. And we got some guys at the middle level, too, that I think are pretty special, but they're not quite as proven as some of the guys up front and on the back end. And so,
I got you.
You got Amos Coleman. Amos Coleman's an All-American, and he's special. And I've been fortunate to coach some good ones in my career, be on the around some guys. And
yeah,
you wouldn't know Amos Coleman is an All-American if you walked in the room with him. Amos Coleman is as humble as they come. He'll seek me out. He'll seek Coach Mo, any of our defensive coaches. He'll seek us out if he's got a question. He doesn't assume he knows anything. And that's a guy that, could easily turn his nose up at me in a way, saying I'm an All-American, and he doesn't, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I've been so impressed with but that's just an example of this place and what Coach Salinas has done here, and what the administration and the athletic director, they've allowed him to do. Amos is a great example of that, guys like Ezra Thibodeau, and I could go on and on about some of these guys. Jeff Laverne, I've just been so impressed with their demeanor. And yeah, it feels like a loaded gun. Now, here's the good thing, right? I get that now. Some of these guys are seniors. We got to develop some guys too, to be able to keep this thing rolling and keep improving.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we got some pieces coming back, but, if all of a sudden one of those guys gets dinged up or something, we got to be ready to roll. Next
man up.
Yep.
Hell yeah, next man up. And I see, you're a guy that puts that out there, and more people should, is like, guys can make that jump to the next level. Obviously, not all of them are going to be All-Americans, but the Mankato background you think of, or even the Minnesota background in general, you think of a guy like Thielen, and I know he's a guy that's been on your timeline quite a few times for good reason of what he's done at the next level. Absolutely love seeing all that stuff. But this Kingsville team is, and I don't really like when, like, it's more of an NFL phrase, but like rebuilding, you can see the air quotes, right? Like, this is not a team that's coming off a down year. That's coming off of a rebuild, of like a brand new scheme or coach or a lot of underclassmen, young guys that aren't proven. I got to imagine the expectation this year, Angelo has been kind of the top dog in the conference. The expectation this year for you guys is knock them off, make some noise, and make that deep playoff run that I think a lot of the guys in your roster probably expect you guys to do.
Yes, and I think that we are faced with some incredible challenges this next fall. The schedule we're playing this next fall is about as hard of a schedule as, from what I'm being told, is going to be as hard of a schedule as they've had around here in a long time. Last year they opened up against, two teams that I think they should have beat handily, and they did. This year we're opening up with Colorado Mesa, and then West Georgia comes over here,
Big time.
I mean, that for non-conference, that, you know, there's some other schools in our league who are also playing very, very tough non-conference games. I know West Texas is and Angelo is, but we're up in the ante a little bit as far as, you know, non-con. I don't know if the West Georgia thing's official yet, but so I could be wrong, but that's what I'm being told.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because I was, that's the next thing I was gonna talk about is the schedule, and I don't remember seeing them on there, but I'm gonna take your word for it, man. That's pretty special.
Contracts are done yet, but yeah, and so we got our work cut out for us, and our kids know that. You know, so we got to go get it done, and that's what, you know, there's expectations around here in Kingsville. You walk into our stadium and it says 7-time national champion. It says 34-time conference champions. You know, right outside our locker room is Gene Upshaw, Darryl Green, and John Randall in their Hall of Fame busts. You know what I mean? Like, there's some expectations around here that, you know, we got to live up to. But at the end of the day, we can't get caught up in that as much as just worrying about, you know, creating habits that will allow us to have success, you know?
Yeah. And you talk about, I mean, out of conference, take one of the best teams out of the RMAC, one of the best teams out of the Gulf South, inject them right into your schedule. That's one of the best things you can do for a team that, like we were talking about, you're trying to make that playoff run. And how do you make a playoff run when, you know, obviously everyone wants to go undefeated, win the conference, get your automatic bid, right? There are so many things that have to go right to make that happen. So say one thing falls off the track, what have you done and what have you proven yourself throughout the season? How do you beat those quality opponents? And we had 3 teams from the GLIAC this last year that made it to the playoffs, with Saginaw losing only to the 3 of them that I thought could have had a conversation as well. You know what I mean? With the quality
Saginaw should have made it.
Exactly. It's the quality of a team that they had. So with the playoffs being that stingy and that tough, even just to make it to the dance, scheduling opponents and obviously beating opponents like that is what you have to do to get in there. But we'll stay on the schedule for a little bit. And by the way, whoever does your graphics down there, killing it.
Yeah.
The graphics are insane. You got like a media team down there? What's the set? I do all of our photo and video up here, so I'm always curious, but whoever does the graphics down there is killing it.
Yeah, he does a great job. It's one guy, but he's got a couple people that help him out, and you know, he does a terrific job. I know when I was at Eastern New Mexico, our D-line coach actually did it, who's at Sioux Falls now, and he did a great job. And he would always be like, man, Kingsville's just, they're better than, you know, they're doing a great job. He'd always bring up Kingsville's graphics, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, man, those are strong. Yeah. I love that. And I've definitely drawn some inspiration for some of their stuff. But we'll go back to the schedule. The highlight, obviously, Week 7, hosting Angelo State this year. That one's going to be marked on the calendar because you got to get there, right? But that's a prove it, right? That's like a statement type game for you guys. But solid competition across the slate. The one that I wanted to talk about, though, probably not the best team you guys are going to play this year, but Simon Fraser comes into town. I was not aware that team existed, and maybe that's just on me. But like I told you, I tried to do my research before this one. Out of British Columbia, I saw they joined the league back in 2021, but I had no idea they existed. And, I mean, you've been in the conference. What made them a good fit for this conference? Because geographically and common sense-wise, it makes no sense, to me at least.
Yeah. Well, I'll kind of give you my opinion on it, and don't take that as a
of course no
representative of Kingsville.
You're no commissioner. No, I'm just asking, like, how the hell did they make that happen?
So Humboldt State, you know, they dropped football a few years back in California. Dixie State transitioned, you know, to Division I. You know, Western Washington dropped football, you know, 12 years ago now, whatever it was. That whole Greater Northwest Athletic, the GNAC or whatever, you know, had 7-8 teams in it at one point. You know, they started slowly losing teams, and now it's down to 3. Damn. Western Oregon, Central Washington, and Simon Fraser. Those teams needed a place to go. I don't know why the Lone Star took mercy on them. And I don't say that negatively about those schools. I just know, you know, small college football, D2, D3,
100%.
It's a long way to go. You don't have giant TV deals to pay for everything. But for some reason, the Lone Star and them decided to have a partnership. And, you know, so, yeah, British Columbia, but we're also got a team from Oregon and a team from Washington, you know, Pacific Northwest teams in our league. And that makes it really tough, you know, on guys. I mean, travel can be tough, and just depends on how your university travels. You know, if you charter flights, hey, it's really probably better than taking a bus to a game 10 hours away. But if you're commercial flights, man, it's a bear. You know, it's tough. And
yeah, I mean, I thought our trips downstate were tough. I mean, we're driving, we're in the car for what, 7 some hours, but
these Lone Star trips are different. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but as far as Simon Fraser goes, I think that, you know, they found a home, and I think they won 1 or 2 games last year. And, you know, the thing about them that's really unique, is not unique. This part, they play so hard. Those kids, they play really hard. They love football. You know, and talking to their coaches, you know, their coaches just tell us, hey, a lot of these guys have only been playing football a couple of years, and they had some talent last year, man, but they were, you know, maybe not quite as experienced as some other teams.
Yep.
And they ended up beating West Texas at the end of the year, and you know, they can make some things happen up there. You know?
Totally. Now, like I said, thought our trips were legit. I'm gonna question that one now from here on out. But have you, like I said, you've been in the league for a little bit now. Have you made a trip up there? Because I saw they played a home game, again, air quotes, but it was played at a high school field in Washington. And the only reason I could think about was like maybe it was a passport thing with some of the guys on the team that they had to go. Like, how does the dynamics of that work? And have you made a trip up there at all?
Well, COVID is why they played the United States.
Oh, okay.
Canada had all those rules about vaccinations and
interesting,
all this stuff. So, you know, I think they only played Central Washington in Canada, and I think they played Western New Mexico in Canada, and all their other home games I think were in Washington, or maybe WT. That might have been in Canada too. But you know, some teams refuse to do that because we're not going to make our kids get vaccinated to go up there, type of deal. And
wow.
And so I did not have to go up there last year. They played us at our place.
Yep.
And Kingsville actually went up there last year, but played them in Washington at a high school on the border. So Kingsville was one of those teams who wasn't, I don't know if it was Kingsville or what it was, but they weren't willing to do what they were asking. And that was all because of, the COVID-19 stuff. And
yeah. And on top of that, I mean, like you talked about, like, you got to get there. And that's a legit couple of days of travel. You have to account for it. Shortens the practice week by a large margin. And, the alternative is like, you either come down here or we've got a bunch of extra time to practice to get bodies right, like a bye type of deal. I mean, pretty incentivized for a coach.
And the nice part about them is that if you fly into Seattle, it's really not that far to get up there.
Okay.
And fortunately, like the way Kingsville operates, to us, it's really not a big deal. We charter flights. So, I mean, it's
damn,
like
that
I
must
said,
be nice.
It's probably better than freaking driving to a game 10 hours away, So, Eastern New Mexico,
hey, you guys,
not charter.
I think these guys know a little something about that, Coach. They know a little something about driving 10 hours for a game, do we, fellas?
Well, we do too. We all of our New Mexico and Texas schools we drive, but when we go to Oregon,
okay,
those Northwest schools we fly. You know what I mean?
So
in the Eastern New Mexico, we didn't charter; it was brutal. And fortunately, here they plan on chartering, which is nice.
That's big time. Now, did you go down to Texas?
Yes.
So that was commercial though, right? Or did you guys charter a flight, or was that commercial?
No, that was commercial.
That was commercial. Okay, that's what I thought. And then they had to drive the equipment down separate, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we've flirted with that a couple times. We were slated to probably play post university, like a newly Division II team out in Connecticut this next year. And now the conversation is, how the hell do we get there? So. That's a bridge to cross in the near future, but thankfully not for any of us to decide because we don't make enough money to do any of that. But backtracking though, for those who aren't familiar with you, we've already touched on it a bunch. Spent a lot of time at the D2 level. I mentioned Minnesota State, Bemidji, down to Eastern New Mexico in the league, and now to Kingsville. Also coached at the junior college and the NAIA levels. And to me, what was interesting about it was like, I think like you started at the D2 level and it kind of like made a couple of these different stops. How do you think that's affected the way that you view the game and also the Division II level, kind of getting a better understanding of, where these kids are at, really talent-wise compared to some of these other levels?
Yeah. I've always kind of been a Division II, Division III guy. Like I played D3 ball in Wisconsin, which, as you guys know, being where you're at, that's pretty good Division III football.
Oh, yeah.
It's complicated with some Division II stuff. I made a bunch of different stops at places. Just, at this level, when you're coaching ball guys, like, we don't make the kind of money they make at Alabama or Georgia. You're not making generational wealth. When I was a graduate assistant at Minnesota State, obviously I was looking for a full-time job after the 2010 season, and I interviewed a couple places, didn't get the jobs. The hardest thing in college football is getting your first job, honestly. Yeah. That first one is the hardest, the first full-time job. And then I stuck around the 2011 season. I think I made $5,000. Like I was detailing cars in the morning. I was driving limo at night. I was doing odd jobs in the off season on weekends, and I was coaching ball for $5,000, man. And then after that 2011 season, that January, I met a couple coaches at the national convention. Oddly enough, Eastern New Mexico is really the reason why I got my first job. They had just hired a new head coach named Josh Lynn, and I interviewed with him, and he didn't hire me, but he recommended me to New Mexico military, and I ended up getting that job at New Mexico military, making like $25,000, right? Like not much money. I moved across the country, never been in New Mexico.
But exponentially greater than $5,000. I mean, you probably at least ditched the limo gig.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I was making $5,000 to $25,000. I was good. Like, but anyways, to answer your question more about talent and all that, at the JUCO level, you deal with a wide range of guys. You deal with Power 5 kids
for sure,
down to, guys that, aren't very good football players, and so you kind of get an idea of who's what at the Division II level, but it is different because then you get to the Division II level and now you're dealing with older guys. You're dealing with more mature kids and you deal with that JUCO just because they're older. And so there's a couple different ways to look at talent. To me, there's raw talent, like, hey, this kid can run this fast, this kid can, jump this high. And then there's the talent that's, developable, if that's even a word, but talent you can develop. And you look at a guy like Adam Thielen, and Adam was a good athlete. I don't know if he was a great athlete coming out of high school, but he developed and he worked. And he kept getting better, and he would find his deficiencies and work on those things, and so I look at a guy like that, and I've told Adam this, but like I don't know that I thought he was going to be an NFL player, let alone an all pro player. Like I don't know that I believed that was going to happen. If you told me in 2011, you know what I mean, and that's not a knock on him, but there was guys on our team at Minnesota State who were, better than Adam up until Adam's senior year, and those were the guys I'd have put my money on to make it, but sometimes you can't measure, a guy's will and determination, work ethic and habits like, with him. So, the talent, it's to answer that question. I mean, there's different talent at every place. And, as a coach, you got to be able to differentiate, if a guy can develop or not,
100%. And I think it's interesting too, like to go back to the fact that you've got this wealth of experience, right? And I think most of the coaches we have on here, at least I feel like, are still finding their way in the profession, and moving across the country for them is usually as simple as just packing up the car and whatever they got, like, let's go. But now where you're at in your life with, a family that you potentially have to uproot, how does that dynamic change? And is it really, I mean, it's got to imagine that's pretty difficult.
Yeah. And it's funny because you kind of talked about guys finding their way, man. I've been doing this for like 13 or 14 years, and I feel like I'm still trying to find my way,
Oh yeah.
There's things you get more comfortable with. Things that I maybe struggled with my first couple years coordinating, I might be a little bit better at now, but now I've gone on to the next thing of, hey, now this is my next challenge I need to improve on. So, but, so I find it interesting you said that, because you're right. But, when it comes to uprooting your family and moving, it's probably the hardest thing I've had to do. Prior to 2015, it was no big deal, man. Like we didn't have any kids. We'd just gotten married. And, if I wanted to get up and go somewhere, I knew she'd come with, and if she was going to be a few months behind, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It was just her. Now we got, 3 kids, and every one of these moves, from Nebraska to Minnesota, we had 1 kid. From Minnesota to New Mexico, we had 2 kids. Now from New Mexico to Texas, we got 3 kids. And so I guess that means I got to have another kid while I'm here in Texas to make it go, man. But it's tough. And the New Mexico one was tough because, I met my wife when I was down in New Mexico. So us leaving Bemidji State, obviously the opportunity to be the associate head coach was important to me.
Yep.
The Lone Star Conference was important to me. But more important than those things was, hey, I wanted to get my wife back to a place where she could be a little closer to family and stuff like that. And that's why we took the New Mexico opportunity. And then when everything shook out in New Mexico with Coach Hyatt leaving and some other things happened and this Kingsville thing came up, I was like, this is a good move. And we had been wanting to get to Texas. That was literally one of our goals as a family, was to be in Texas to do our jobs. My wife's a certified athletic trainer. She's got her doctorate degree in some educational stuff.
That's awesome.
So, and here's the thing, as a football coach or as an athletic trainer, like Texas compensates a little bit better. Whether you're high school or college, doesn't matter.
Everything's bigger, even the salaries, man.
Yeah. And just, football's really serious down here, obviously. And it's a serious in Michigan, it's serious everywhere, but in Texas, it's a little different.
It's different, yeah.
And so it was our goal. So when this came up, the decision wasn't that hard to make it, but obviously the process of what we had to do. I've been here for 2 months, and my wife and kids won't probably be here till June 1st. You know what I mean? Because bottom line, my son, my 5-year-old, he's getting some speech therapy done. I really like what his pre-K teacher's doing with him. He's playing baseball. I'm like, I'm not uprooting these dudes in the middle of the school year, and so as much as I want to be with them, I really felt that, I needed to make sure that they could finish what they needed to finish. You know what I mean?
That's real stuff, man. I think that gets neglected a lot when from the outside, you might just see an announcement on Twitter, right? Like someone's making this big move and your mind might go to some other like internal, like football, like just football specific reasons. And I think that it's just a good reminder and a perspective change to realize, like you said, you're doing it for the love of doing this. And there's so many other aspects that go into it. At one point, you're making $5,000. We talked with Coach Duhart, who's now a GA at Ohio State, who was over here at Wayne. He was sleeping in the stadium working there and as their defensive backs coach. And you just hear more and more of those stories. And it's both my parents are educators. That was the first job I ruled off of the list. So much respect to both of them and everyone in that field, but I could never do it. Yeah, coaching might be the second one that I said, I'm not cut out for it. I love this game. I don't think I could do it, man. So I applaud you. And I'm excited to see, one, what you guys do this year, but man, wherever you end up, whether that's, sticking around with Kingsville, you've got some fans in us. I'm definitely going to be tuned in from now on, man. I appreciate you a ton for coming on. We've been chatting away for a minute. I had to look down and I'm like, damn, I'm not trying to take away this guy's whole night, but I appreciate you a ton, Coach.
Yeah, I would tell you guys this too, like in this business, I've been at a few places, but I think maybe in all but one or two of those jobs, like I wasn't looking to leave, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe one or two of them I was, but the rest of them, I wasn't really looking to leave. I think one of the hardest things is when you're at a place like leaving Bemidji State was really hard. I liked it there. I felt comfortable. I thought it was a place to raise a family. And boy, I had some fun players, man. I love those kids. I still do. Yep. That was tough. And even Eastern New Mexico, I was there for 11 months, and I'm like, God dang, I got attached to some of these guys. And we have a good relationship, and I miss the hell out of those guys, but I'm rooting for them for 10 weeks out of the season. You know what I mean?
10. I love it. I love that. I love that until that one day comes, man. But Coach, like I said, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking a little time out of your day, and I'll be tuned in. But
if you guys
have a good night, man.
Let me know. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Hey, I'm gonna take you up on that.
Yeah,
for sure.
If you guys got any questions or anything football wise, or you need to get in touch with someone, I'll help you.
I'm gonna say, and after you guys have the season that we're expecting you to have, we're gonna get you back on here. How's that sound?
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Let's
you
do
guys
it.
too, man. I know you guys got a new coaching staff up there.
Yep.
I know that can always be a transition for you guys, and I would tell you this, stay the course. Believe in what that new staff is pumping to you guys, whatever the morals and values they have for you guys. The more you guys buy in, and maybe it's not you guys, maybe it's other teammates, but the more of a buy-in and more of belief that you guys choose to have in those values, the better experience you guys are going to have. And if you guys are fighting those values and those beliefs, or if any of your teammates are fighting that, man, it's going to be not enjoyable. You know what I mean? And because the harsh reality of college football is that new coaches are going to come and go, man. And
yes, sir.
You guys can have what kind of experience you want, and buy into whatever they're teaching you guys and want you guys to do, and I hope you guys have a great experience.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
I love that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Have a good night, Coach.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thank you.
We'll see ya. Great talk with Coach Bisch. It was a long one, but like I told these guys, like when you got a guy on like that, I was enjoying it, and I don't think I never want to cut him short, right? He obviously had more. He had stuff to say.
Yeah, he was on to talk.
He was.
There's a lot of people coming here don't really want to talk.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
sometimes I feel bad, like I don't want to take his whole night, but like he kept adding on. I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm never gonna cut someone off especially when they're like he seems like a pretty endearing guy, has a good personality. Like I imagine like someone that players relate to and get along with really well. And when he gets plugged into that system down there, they're poised to have a really good year, guys. I think we're going to be hearing a lot about them this year. And that West Georgia announcement, did we just break news, I think, on the podcast? Because that's not official. It hasn't been officially stated by the Athletics.
I don't know if he was supposed to say that, but
he may not have been, but it's in our hands now. So as of tomorrow morning when this gets posted, that will be.
We played.
We're going to get a message from Texas A&M Kingsville Athletics, the Javelinas.
From their damn compliance office.
They're going to say, you need to delete the podcast, or we're going to send a squadron of Javelinas down to the studio right now. We'll ship them. We'll charter the flight of the Javelina squadron up there.
He'll take his train.
And have a big ass.
He'll take the Javelina train.
Have NMU Superior Dome filled with wild big ass rat pigs.
What about if we had a wildcat in a train?
Taxidermied?
No, like the live one.
Oh, so get a big ass tiger?
Yes,
no, a wild.
I think someone tried
that. Shit was crazy.
We got them all over.
In like real life.
We got them on campus.
That's sick.
Come down.
Not like, woo, sick. Like, that is sick.
No, it's
like,
really sweet.
They need no. Not like, wow, that's sick. Like,
that's sickening.
You're sick. Yeah, like that kind of sick.
Shut up. I love it. I think it's awesome. There's a Fox Den on campus. They had 7 kits last spring that I saw and was able to photograph. It was pretty cool stuff. You don't get that everywhere.
Next topic.
We can start with Lamar?
Yeah, we got to.
Let's start with Lamar. Lamar wants out of Baltimore.
As he should.
Period. That's it. But that's the main gist of it. Lamar has officially requested a trade, even though he was a restricted free agent. This is the official statement from Lamar. I've got it pulled up here for us guys, and he says, he opens it with a letter to my fans. I want to first thank you all for all the love and support you consistently show towards me. All of you are amazing, and I appreciate y'all so much. I want you all to know not to believe everything you read about me. Let me personally answer your questions. And then he goes on. Why do I not have the...
Because there's too many replies, my brother.
Is there? Well, we're going to find.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. And is he going to do it again? There we are. In regards to my future plans, as of March 2nd, I requested a trade from the Ravens organization for which the Ravens have not been interested in meeting my value. Any and everyone that has met me or has been around me know I love the game of football, and my dream is to help a team win the Super Bowl. You all are great, but I had to make a business decision that was best for my family and I. No matter how far I go or where my career takes me, I'll continue to be close to my fans of the Baltimore Flock Nation. Never heard him called that. And the entire state of Maryland. You'll see me again.
That.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it's legit. And then, of course, he finishes it out with, let's stay connected. Subscribe to my fan page. I don't know. I thought that was corny. Is that just me, or I think that's corny.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my fan page. I mean, I get the plug. Like, you're gonna get love on that. Like, it's got over 2 million impressions, but like, really, dude, it's a pretty serious announcement. Like,
good marketing.
Pay me money. Yeah, throw me your money, more of your money, Baltimore Nation. I'm leaving, but you should still support me. I sound like a hater. I'm not a hater. I like
good
Lamar.
Marketing, though.
I was watching. This is my take on it.
Okay. You talking about just like the end here, or what are you talking about?
Everything. Like, this whole tweet, my take is,
okay,
like, Shannon Sharp was like, if they didn't even reveal his website and they got Gmail and the thing, and like, bro, what do that got to do with him requesting a trade? Because he was saying that he was getting bad advice from people.
Yep.
And my thing is, I don't think he necessarily getting bad advice from people, because with an agent or not, they wasn't going to pay him. I feel like...
Probably, I would say the agent, because him and his mom, right, do the negotiating for themselves, right?
Like, they wasn't going to pay him if he had Jesus as an agent. I feel like...
I agree with that.
They hate anybody...
Not even Jesus could get the deal done?
Wouldn't you have paid a unanimous MVP years ago?
True.
He got paid after that
very
season.
True. That's very
true. And we
true.
wouldn't have to go through none of this.
Yeah.
They hate the media. I'm talking about the media. I get on the Ravens' ass in a second.
I got you.
But the media hate anybody who do anything out of the ordinary.
And more so, like, make like he says, a family business decision that doesn't directly benefit a fandom or a media, like a headline. You know what I mean?
They hate that.
I get that.
They hate that he don't have an agent. Him not having an agent
very true.
is not blocking his money.
It makes them look bad.
Orlando Brown had an agent. He had $160 million on the table. Him and his agent turned that down, and he just signed for 64. But ain't anybody saying nothing about him?
It's crazy.
Victor Oladipo had $150 million on the table.
That's a different conversation.
He signed for $4 million the next year. Come on, bro. Like, it don't matter if he got an agent or not, bro. The Ravens obviously not trying to pay him what he wants.
No.
And what y'all want the agent to try to, come on, Lamar, you just got to take it. You got to take it, Lamar. No, he not going for that. When Joe Burrow finna go get $270 million. Justin Herbert finna go get $260. Lamar won his fair share.
It's just a matter of when and where those deals get done. And then you talk about, too, the whole Deshaun Watson thing we had discussed earlier. Like, he just broke the market.
Yeah, it's Deshaun Watson's fault for sure.
It really is. And like we said, like, the whole idea of, like, owners colluding and this and that, like, none of us know how much actual backing there is to that. But what we do know.
I fully believe it. But
what we do know is that they don't want to pay anyone else that money.
They do not want to pay any other quarterback like that again.
No.
Because Deshaun Watson broke the market and
then did what?
Played terrible. And
well, granted, he didn't get to practice with them. None of that. He just got through, and he got like 2 weeks of practice. Any quarterback could do bad in that situation. To me,
but when you have $250 million guaranteed, the bar is still extremely high, no matter what the circumstances are.
Because last year his salary hit was $1 million.
$1 million. So yeah, I guess
so he played like $1 million quarterback.
That is
so
true.
now
he got to play like the super all pro that he was.
And we're gonna see it.
But to me, Lamar Jackson is better than Deshaun Watson.
I think that'd be a pretty common take.
He's supposed to be like, no, I want more money than that.
Yeah.
He's not wrong for saying that.
No, he isn't. I just think that no one wants to pay him.
Yep. Somebody, if it ain't the Ravens, somebody gonna pay him.
An interesting quote here from Rappaport, who's on the Pat McAfee show. Shout out. He says, quote, Lamar Jackson is available anyway, so a request to be traded wasn't really necessary. But he was, so this doesn't change his status as a restricted free agent, correct? Is that what it was? Because really the whole idea was that other teams could offer him, but the Ravens would have a chance to match it, which we know that they weren't even probably going to do anyways.
It's basically, but he gonna have to sign the tender.
Okay. Yep.
So that's what he gonna have to sign the tender, and that's why he asked to be traded, because he can't not sign a tender. You know what I'm saying? And make himself. But my thing is, I always said the Ravens wasn't gonna pay him, and he gonna walk next year, and watch him get exactly what he asking for.
You think so?
Somebody. I'm
gonna say, because that's the next part of the conversation is, what does the future look like for him? We can talk about that in a little bit, but
how many teams is the quarterback away?
It depends on who you ask, right?
Right now, the Commanders got a really nice squad outside of a quarterback. The Jets got a really, really nice squad outside of.
And we've heard the conversation about around their team, obviously.
If I'm the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, I don't want him no more. Lamar available, come on, dog.
Yeah,
I'm giving up every.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Lamar Jackson,
Aaron Rodgers has what, maybe 3 years left, probably.
I think that's being generous too.
Yeah,
my mama, he was bad last year.
He's crazy too. I mean,
he batshit crazy. You put him in New York, you gonna think he Batman.
That might be an all-time line for me. That was good. That was good.
He nuts. He out of his mind. You want to put him in New York.
Vigilante by night.
He just started fighting crime.
Now you think he John Wick for real, running around with guns in a suit.
The Keanu Reeves fit.
Cause the Giants just blasted him on national television. Now he running around Times Square in a suit with rubber pellet guns. We thought Aaron Rodgers would put us over the hump. Aaron Rodgers not better than Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers barely better than fucking Tua right now. But he gonna be the one.
And they just picked up Tua's 5th year.
And Tua probably gonna get $150 million.
I'm saying he's gonna get paid too. That might be a little north of that, or a little south of that. Sorry, but
Tua gonna get $150 million.
Danny Dimes got paid too, so
Tua's gonna get $150 million.
Okay. Now your argument seems a lot more compelling.
Like it's no way he do it.
The question I think that we need to ask ourselves is, are Ravens fans really upset that Lamar is leaving?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, I swear to
Let's play the video. Just watch the video from Stuffy.
Lamar Jackson think he too good for fucking Baltimore, huh? Well, good, yo. Fuck Lamar, yo. I got news
I'm going to fast forward, but basically.
We're going to be okay.
Where is it? Here.
We're going to be okay. Yeah, I know. My bad, y'all. I got an eye injury from beating up a bunch of really strong Latinos yesterday.
The fuck?
I'm not crying.
You get the gist.
But it was people like real life in his replies like,
yeah,
see you later. We don't want you anymore.
That came from the joke. Obviously, pops up on everyone's For You page on TikTok. Dude is totally hilarious. But that's who he's poking fun at, are the people that are like, we don't even need you, Lamar. And as soon as they see the news, they're like, as a matter of fact, never liked the dude.
Lamar was never anything to us anyways.
Yeah.
Didn't you just call him Black Jesus when he won the MVP? Wasn't he your Lord and Savior? The leader of Flock Nation?
Yeah, Flock Nation, which I just learned was a thing.
But now y'all don't want him. Okay, who gonna be quarterback next year? Tyler Huntley? You talking about the dude who made the Pro Bowl when he had more picks than touchdowns? Him?
This is
Colin Cowherd was talking about the Ravens won the Super Bowl in the Peyton Manning and the Brady era. They went 15-8 in the playoffs. They won with defense. Fam, that was 12 years ago. I was a shorty. Nigga, I was a shorty. I had to ask my daddy, could I stay up past 9 the last time the Ravens won a Super Bowl? Beyonce felt as if she had to perform at the Super Bowl the last time the Ravens did something significant. You talking about back then? Bro, they not beating the Chiefs because they got some crazy defense. They not beating the Bengals because they got some crazy defense. You need a real life superstar at the quarterback position to compete in this league.
Because both those teams have it. And if you don't,
both got it.
you're
going to be pieces outside of that.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is like the ultimate X factor.
Agreed.
And you don't want to pay him? You're not paying nobody else? Who else you got to give your money to?
Yeah.
You ain't giving it to no receivers?
That's a great point, though.
That is
right?
a great point.
Because, like, how is this being distributed?
What do they know that we don't? What y'all gonna sign Joe Burrow?
That's a great question.
Oh, y'all gonna get Joe Burrow $300 million? Well, Lamar just wanted a smoother 240.
That would be the ultimate move. But let's talk potential landing spots for him. Of course, when anything gets mentioned about players potentially moving teams, what's the first thing that comes out?
Photoshop.
Jersey swaps.
Same thing.
We're on the same page.
For sure.
Here he is in the Colts. That does not seem like a likely, but you never Colts. They're obviously in the market, but I think everyone right now is assuming that they pick someone up in the draft.
Yeah, if I was the Colts, I wouldn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
The only team that's gonna trade for Lamar is a team that's literally pieces away from being a contender. Now, granted, he go to the Colts, they guarantee the playoff spot because I feel like they're in a weak division. They probably win that division.
That's very
true.
true.
Just beat them in Jacksonville in my eyes.
I was saying because the Titans seem to be on a little bit of a downhill skid these last couple of years.
Texas ain't ready.
Yeah.
And it'll just be them in Jacksonville. I feel like he'll put them over the hump with Jacksonville.
I would agree. I think they have a really strong shot to win that division if he goes there. So then you think like, you win the division, you're at least hosting a playoff game, and from there, who knows?
To be honest though, like, for what though? Like,
yeah.
They're not gonna give up the fourth pick for Lamar Jackson.
That's the thing. You obviously have to give up a lot, and then you have to sign him. You got to get him to a deal. That's going to be the hard part. Right?
That's why the Ravens
aren't going to give
quarterback. With them being in the spot they're in, they'd be better off just drafting a quarterback.
100%. I would agree. I'd agree pretty wholeheartedly with that. Now, the team that has been picking up a lot of traction here as of late is the Patriots.
Did you see that report with Meek Mill?
Yes, I was actually going to pull that up. I'll pull that up in a second. But Ty is talking about this tweet right here from Bleacher Report that says, this is the quote from Bleacher Report. Robert Kraft said Meek Mill texted him Lamar Jackson wanted to come to the Patriots. Kraft said that would be Bill Belichick's decision. Why is there a picture of Meek and Kraft?
Like, why is Meek Mill and Robert Kraft cool?
That's so...
I don't think random. I would ever expect to see this
Why
picture.
Is they tied in? Is Robert Kraft with the shits? I might have to start fucking with Robert Kraft. He might be with the shits. Because what he kicking it with Meek Mill for?
I have no idea.
Other black people in the room. It's not like Meek Mill came to see them.
This ain't a photo op.
Kraft came to see them.
Yes.
He came to fuck with them. So maybe Robert Kraft with the shits.
He's that guy, man.
I don't know though. Like that ain't nothing that Meek Mill would just make up. That's nothing that Robert Kraft would just make up.
That was the tweet, and there's just a Lamar shot. But yeah, back to the
him and the Pats. I mean, they're not no receivers though.
Pretty sweet little uni swap.
They signed Juju Smith-Schuster, weak ass.
They did, and then you talk about their quarterback situation, and you're like, yeah, you can have thoughts on him, whatever, but I don't know.
Are you a Mac Jones believer?
I would say I'm a believer. No,
is Mac Jones gonna beat?
I think
these two aren't even in the same league ballpark. Whatever the analogy is, yeah.
If your
Bailey Zapp, though,
if your quarterback,
I think he's better than Mac Jones, but he's not even. He's nothing compared to Lamar.
If your quarterback cannot beat the best quarterback in your division, you need to be trying to get Lamar Jackson.
I think it's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is a hard like. And concept, but I totally get what you're saying.
Only time you don't do that is like if you already like the Chargers shouldn't be like, all right, fuck, we gotta go get Lamar because Herbert ain't better than Mahomes. But like the Raiders, come on, dog. The Commanders, they should be.
Commanders would be the smartest fit.
And boom,
that's the hardest jersey swap though.
Like we were linked up. You see how quick I had that? Like in the way that I was boom, boom.
Yeah, for sure. That's hard.
I don't think
the jersey swap. The jersey swap is it looks nut. It looks good.
They're such a messed up franchise. I don't think they'd be smart enough to get it done.
Shit.
I'm gonna say they're still dealing with their own shit over there, aren't they? They got a lot going on. They gotta be selling the team.
All they gotta do is sell the team and they gone. Sam Howell gonna play quarterback for them? Sam Howell?
They don't even got Heineke anymore.
He looked good in the last game. Bro, the Cowboys didn't care about that game.
I thought they signed someone else.
They did, but
it wasn't anyone. Jacoby Brissett?
No one that's like
It might have been
nobody that
Nobody,
mattered.
I would say nobody that warrants Lamar not being in the conversation,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
Bro, why would we get Lamar Jackson? We just signed Jacoby Brissett.
No one's gonna say that.
Did you see that 8-yard route he threw to Paris Campbell last year?
Did you see the spiral?
Did you see that spiral that Tom Brady threw? Oh, you talking about the NFL quarterback? The spiral he threw.
That's an all time.
Nigga, my little
Love
sister
that.
can throw a spiral. Did you see the spiral he threw? The greatest quarterback of all time?
Remember, I mean, last week we were talking like, because there's a real possibility we don't see Lamar on the field. Just because of the fact we talk about with the owners, like, they don't want to guarantee anyone that deal. Even Lamar, the game changer that he
bro.
is.
They talking about injury history. Bro, you can't predict injuries. You can't tag that on somebody. Well, he be hurt, so we can't. I hate that. I honestly do hate it. Because it's fluky.
How much money?
Don't get me wrong. Now, if a nigga just hit him in his chest and he got hurt all the time,
Yeah.
all right, cool. He step weird. And I'm not finna play either. And we got 100. We talking about we 100
Not at
million.
100%, especially when you're on, a franchise tag or when you're whatever it is. If you go out there and you play and you're not at 100%,
It's over
what
with.
are you putting on
If
tape?
he go
What are
RG3 himself, it's over with. It's Lamar would have had to go sign a 2-year, $20 million deal.
That's also
with
very
some
true.
scrubs.
I'm just saying the fact of the matter, like being out there, not giving 100, like not being 100%, you're not earning the money that he has earned for himself. So I think he's played it smart as far as that goes.
And then they talking about he ain't want to play in the last games he could have played. Nigga, y'all got
I don't know
trainers?
about that. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I hate the argument too, like because he's a mobile quarterback, he's always hurt. But like, look at Jimmy Garoppolo; he is one of the least mobile quarterbacks.
That nigga stay hurt.
And he's always hurt. And he still got. I mean, he didn't get a ton of money, but he got $66 million.
I'm gonna say he got decently paid for where he was at in his career. Being,
he's been hurt the past 2 years.
arguably a backup,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they openly endorsed
Daniel
Lance
Jones
going into the year.
suck. He just got $160 million.
Exactly. Our point exactly.
And y'all talking about he missed 10 games. He also won an MVP.
He did do that. He did win an MVP.
Nigga told me. Next topic.
Didn't the Bucks have the money to do it?
That's another question too. Now,
Bucks
obviously, they just signed Mayfield, and they supposedly believe in Kyle Trask as well. Now, obviously, Kyle Trask, Lamar are on different planets.
They also said that before they signed Baker Mayfield.
They did, so it makes you question a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe they make that move to say Baker Mayfield is a semi-safer option, and then even if Trask goes out and beats him out in camp, which is a very good possibility, then you have a guy like Baker who's there mentoring a guy like Trask. Now, Trask had a pretty good mentor this last year. Let's not forget, right? But still, it doesn't hurt to have a different set of eyes. Someone with a lot of experience in the league like Baker has, who has played at times at a high level. So
Brady was not mentoring that nigga. Brady did not care about. Brady was trying to make the playoffs.
He's too worried about his
He was trying to make the playoffs. You talking about mentoring? Hey Tom, what do you think
His
about
family
this?
splitting up. He ain't worried about Trask.
Nigga trying to make sure his wife not finna put him on child support. You talk about what's the hot read on Spider Y2 Banana?
It was fun.
Nigga, I don't know. Where's my wife? What the hell? Cow trash.
Where is Giselle? I haven't kissed my son in 3 days.
You get talking about? Hey, you seen the Blitz Blitz packages? Nigga, you ain't playing.
Have you seen my wife? Have you seen my wife?
He ain't even watching film in the team room. He watching slideshows of his family. Get out! This nigga Kyle Trask was pissed on himself. Then Tom Brady looked skinny as hell last year. He was on that shit.
Yeah, there's definitely, there'll be a documentary that comes out in a couple of years' time. I just want to know how much Botox that man had or something.
I know that shit when I see it.
We can move on.
Please.
Let's talk about UCF. They just recently released renders for their new, what they're calling it, their football campus, fellas, and
National champs.
national champs, like we said in the opener. I mean, national champions, you got to
just
be
had
able
to
to do
mention
this.
it again.
Of course. Never hurts to bring it up again. I think the best thing to do is just take a look at these pictures, guys. So the first one right here, this looks like you took it out of an Avengers film. Like the Avengers, because they had their old HQ destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Thanos came in and just blew that shit up. Now, this is where they're relocating. You took the UCF off there and put the big-ass A. I don't think anyone would have any questions, to be honest with you.
Go to the next one.
Oh, next picture already.
I want to see how crazy.
Is there a rocket launching in the background there, by the way? What the hell is going on?
I don't know. It looked like, yeah.
Picture number 2. They got a fireworks show going on.
What the hell is just a parking lot, nigga? Oh, I guess the building, too. Yeah, the building.
Yeah, the building there.
It's just a parking lot of palm trees.
Yeah.
Niggas gas up anything.
Pretty sweet.
All right, go to the next picture.
Oh, that first picture was better than this one, though. Come on.
Go to the next one.
Those lights.
Oh, no. All right, see.
They got a lazy river in there?
Now, look.
What?
It's going to be so crazy because, like, they're going to have some, like, when the football facilities close, you can't be in there type shit.
I mean, that would make sense, right?
No, that.
When they close, I mean, there's no one there to, like, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Somebody drowned in a lazy river.
It'll be cracking, Shirty. They gonna get in trouble a couple times.
I mean, yeah.
They gonna start draining the pool at night. Because they ain't gonna do nothing but go in there. If you can get in that facility at any time, like in some place you can get in a facility at any time.
Yeah. You read right here on the side, I pulled it up on the screen. As UCF transitions to the Big 12, the school's new football campus will include a new football locker room, weight room, training room, new football ops building, coaching office space, a hydrotherapy pool. Oh, it's not a lazy river, guys.
A recovery river.
A recovery river.
How I'm recovering, nigga, riding this damn floaty.
And then a tropical entrance and tailgate. That's what must have been what we saw in the parking lot over there, which is cool. Nothing crazy, but like that part's pretty cool. Now, if we go to the, I think there's one more here. There is the recovery river on the campus.
That looked
Central
like
Florida.
That looked like Punta Cana.
It's pretty cool. Like,
Oh, it's pretty sweet.
So it's unique.
Like we said, national
I can put my
champs.
phone
You
in
make
the
it
camera.
happen. What's up?
Bro, that look like Punta Cana, bro.
You could show it to the camera as long as
finna
it's
come up.
like PG, obviously.
Of course. Of course.
But yeah, man, there it is. The recovery river. It looks like there's some more pictures actually down here. Shout out Front Office Sports, by the way. Great follow on Twitter. Free plug there for them. Here you go. Another couple pictures of the actual facilities here. Those neon lights are sick. Why are the people in this render just hold on, Ty? I gotta what you got? What you got? Wait, right there. No, you gotta hold it higher. You gotta hold it higher. Pull it back a little bit. There it is.
Punta Cana, bro.
Up. Yep, right there.
No, that's just Punta Cana, bro. They want to just copy the resort,
Is that on your camera roll?
bro. That's when I went to Punta Cana.
Yeah, I figured.
Dog, they niggas that built a resort.
They said we need that.
Yeah, we
You
need
would get us that.
Folks, he was sitting there with the cucumbers on his eyes.
Man, you know what would be
What
nice?
if we had this every day?
All this shit.
Pack it all up. It's going back to Florida. Nah, ain't no more resort.
But why are all the people in these renders just white cutouts?
Yeah, they didn't have to do that. They could have just let the damn people out.
We've seen some sweet renders, like that one going through the Soldier Field renovations. All those
Yeah.
people were walking around.
Yeah,
Now,
that shit was hard.
Some of them had the duplicated jerseys, but who cares? It was sick.
Yeah,
Well, they just white cutouts. It's just lazy.
they didn't.
Why even put those?
Just don't even put
Yeah,
people in.
don't
That's what I'm
people.
saying. It would have been way cooler without them. Whatever.
They gonna get a lot of recruits with that.
Who's this guy? As we say that,
That's the dude that was laying in Punta Cana with the cucumbers on his eye. You know it'd be nice having this every day. Somebody get more of it on the phone.
How long does it take until somebody jumps off? Oh, here we go. Missed the picture. How long does it take before somebody jumps off this balcony into the recovery river?
I don't think it ever happened.
No?
I don't think the river would be that deep.
Yeah, it's
somebody-
gonna be shallow.
I don't think that stopped people in the past from doing some pretty stupid things.
Nah, when they got that kind of money invested in you, you ain't gonna do nothing like that. Now, if it was regular people,
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying just football players. I'm saying, someone is going to try and get in there and do something.
I give it 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking just football players. I would hope that football players are smart enough not to do that, but you never know. With scholarships, and things
That's what I'm
going
saying.
on.
If that was just on the regular campus for everybody,
then it's over with.
it'd be cracking every day, bro. You going to class? Hell no, I'm going to the resort.
river, man. The
Go to the
resort.
recovery river.
I'm going to the recovery river. It's
Couple
cracking
more.
every day.
Couple more here.
They gonna get
That's
tired of
sick.
just seeing
That's
just
pretty
them
sick.
around.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
For real. I mean, that's sick, man. So I wonder how they're allocating the space for this, right? Because obviously
sure
there had to be something here before, right?
You sure the women's basketball team can't come? Pretty sure, Joshua. Get back in the recovery river. Put your pants back on. Joshua crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They is bogus as hell for these white people. I mean, like, what? I mean, hell no. Damn. I just got canceled. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm talking about for these white people.
Podcast host booted off
Bro,
show and school after
think
racial comments.
Think about the people who like listening to this. They not watching it. They just bogus for all these white people. They just crashed their car. I can't believe I just said
can't
it.
see the render at all.
They just crashed their car. We just got to put this render as the cover art.
Yes.
So
they know what we talk about. This video will be on YouTube. Subscribe at Division I Rejects. This will definitely be clipped.
my mama just crashed her car listening to this. She think I done lost my mind.
His scholarship's gonna be off the table.
It's over with. We ain't going nowhere.
But this is the last render. This is actually probably the sweetest. I think it gives the best like the sense of scale, right? Like this building looks huge.
Yeah.
And the recovery river is also
Think about it. They didn't even post like the locker room and all of that.
That's very true. When do we get to see the stuff inside the new training room, the coach's office space, hydrotherapy, all that stuff?
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Right. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see all that stuff. But fellas, we can close off. We can close off today. Put a bow on today with primetime. We talked about the national champs over at UCF. Let's talk a little bit about primetime. That being Deion Sanders and his philosophy, if you will, on players earning their jersey numbers. This is the tweet. It's a tweet all over the place, but this specific one is from Pro Football Hall of Fame. It says, it's just the direct quote from him. He says, "I'm old school. Didn't we have to earn every darn thing we got? Ain't nobody gave us nothing." And this is the video that has been circulating on social media regarding the players at Colorado earning their jersey numbers.
The kids earn their jersey numbers.
Yeah.
Is there a story behind that, and what
No.
are you hoping that creates?
I'm old school. Anybody here over 45? Didn't we have to earn every darn thing we got? Ain't nobody gave us nothing. So this whole new thing, first of all,
Cowboy
we got
hat is
this new
clean.
thing now in college football about double numbers. We didn't have. If somebody gave you a double number in college, that assured that you weren't gonna play. That's how it was, wasn't it? Now it's like normal, and you got to earn stuff. Ain't nobody giving you nothing. We got kids ain't played a snap, and you want to be one. You know what number one meant back in the day for us? That you were that one. Now you got number one getting the frame tore out of him out there on the field. Like, come on, you got to be crazy. Now it's a fight in the stands because the mama's wearing number one and her son, her baby's getting murdered out there. It's just a new day. Single digits was something you had to be him. You had to be him. Now you got lineman one,
Him.
Nigga, what is hell talking about him?
Okay, if I give a lineman that number, the DB or the receiver or the running back can't take that big number. So now I got a deficit of numbers. So all this stuff is strategic. But I'm old school, man. I come from the place you got to earn it. My school.
And you get the basic gist of what Primetime's talking about there. But I think for me, it's kind of been a polarizing take on like Twitter and some other places. I don't really think it should be. Like, why is that a bad thing? Like, make dudes earn it, especially when you have a guy like he's a smart guy, smart businessman, smart man. He knows kids are going to be coming there for the brand, maybe even more so than the actual football with the history of Colorado and where they've been. So, you know the type of kids that are coming. It's a smart move, I think. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's pretty sweet. And I think, worth noting too, our coach is going to be doing the exact same thing in the fall. So,
For real?
yeah. So, Richardson already said, no double numbers.
Wow.
Maybe he took a page out of Prime's book. I mean, him and Rich are basically like the same character.
They've been locked in. It is the same people.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like
yeah.
the number thing, like saying you got to earn your numbers, I mean, I ain't mad at it because, like, especially with, like, the turnover that they got,
Yep.
it's not like, now that's the difference. He didn't just take over for LSU. He took over for Colorado, and a lot of them players left, and he brought in a lot of people. So, okay, you earn the numbers that because you got it's probably 6 people that want number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody got to go earn the number 4. You know what I'm saying? The double number thing, that ain't he calling his bluff.
You think so? Really?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
come fall, there'll be double numbers.
Of course.
Like dudes who are playing.
Come on now. They making too much money to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
Maybe.
Maybe. Because that's the same thing he did last year. You know what you got to do? You got to watch his documentary on Amazon
I
Prime.
actually started watching it. It's really well done. I watched the first couple episodes. I really liked it. Actually.
He did that with the
and
DB's back plates. He was like,
it changed my perspective on him a good bit too. I think.
You see, it's not all for show. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really on the
He really lives it, and he actually preached it, which I can respect it a lot. Like I said, my perspective going into it, I don't think I've ever been a hater, but I think the general perception is that the camera turns on and this guy turns into a character. No, this is him. It's who he is. I can respect it.
Like, you feel me? He's saying they got to earn it, and for everything that he gonna give them, it's gonna make them work that much harder. Because, come on now, that's prime time. He gonna put money into what he got going on, and them boys gonna be taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
Did it at Jackson State.
So, come on now.
His own, yeah. It was
Jackson
a lot of
State
stories about that.
My daddy went to Jackson State. Jackson State wasn't shit, and now they shit, big shit, colossal. But you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm calling this bluff on the double numbers, but the earn your numbers, I believe them because they brought in hella kids. It ain't like that ain't rocket science. They brought in like 60 people.
Yeah,
somebody got to wear some number, and he gonna do double numbers though, bro. It is because if that little nigga from Miami, the number 1 corner, be like, I want number 2. All right, give it to him. Shador, y'all share a number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that is what it's gonna be. He ain't gonna tell him, no, we ain't doing that.
That'd be interesting because you're right. Like that's a high profile recruit like that.
If Travis Hunter be like, I want number 12, coach. Oh, I bet. And Shador be like, I don't want number 2 no more. I want number 12, coach. They just gonna share the number. I feel him. You know what I'm saying? It probably is weird for him, but that's just what it's gonna be. But I respect him though. I used to be like, no, everything he says for sure. And then I watched that documentary. I'm like, damn, this nigga crazy.
Give it a watch. Really well done too. Really well produced.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Really good show.
Damn. What'd you think, Trev? You ever
bleep all that out, bro? We just gave them free promo. He ain't paying us for this. Delete that whole segment. Thanks for tuning in. We gone. Looking at.
Did you ever have to share a number with someone, Trev?
I don't think so. No.
I mean, we didn't have enough dudes in high school to really be doing that, but we definitely didn't have any shared numbers in high school. Plus, I was wearing 40, so I don't really have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing number 3.
Yeah.
What about you, Ty? They do that over at Bishop Mac?
No, you couldn't have double numbers in high school.
No. I didn't know if that was different in
not in Illinois. We couldn't have
maybe
double
like
numbers. And nobody ever had 10
Yeah.
when I was here. So
You just came in and got it? That's
no,
all.
I was number 22. I was sharing the number with Jack Ruger.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then I don't think they anticipated me making the fall roster, but I won a job out of camp. Then they had to change my number because me and Rager was on hands team together.
That's funny.
So they put me on number 10. It was a safety number. And he messed his back up, and he wasn't gonna play that year, so they just gave me his jersey.
You kid?
I swear to God, and I was number 10 ever since. They gave me number 5 after the season.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I'm gonna just keep 10 because John was number 5. I thought it was gonna be kind of corny. Both from the same city, got the same number. That was kind of weird to me.
A little much. Is it too much coincidence?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We ain't that corny now. I love you, boy, but not that much. You could have a number 5.
That's funny.
I hope I keep number 10 wherever I go though.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be so. Then like applying it to yourself, like, is that? I mean, obviously it's not the first thing you bring up, but is that a conversation you have with any of these coaches or what?
I see it when I go to practice.
Okay, so you're not like,
so I see
coach,
it,
by the way, like I need 10.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going out there, you're like, let me just see.
I can see it. And if I'm a transfer, I feel like I'm going to get priority over a freshman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why
I would agree, yeah.
Like Youngstown, I'll be able to get 10. North Dakota, somebody else got 10. So
Okay.
I probably, if I went to
You'd
North
switch
Dakota,
up.
I'll probably just get 5. And then I'll see whatever NIU looking like. I think somebody got 10 at NIU though. So it all depends on, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mercer, I don't know what I would get at Mercer. They numbers jam-packed. They didn't lose nobody. Jesus, I don't know what I'd be wearing on my back. But hey.
Might get that Kobe Manzo number 40.
No.
Me and you, man.
Hey, Coach, what number y'all got for me? 37? Dang, Coach, I'm going through a tough. I'm hit you. Coach, I didn't want to. Hey, Coach Richardson,
by the way, is 10 still available?
Coming home. I just had a song playing. I'm gonna just call him and I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm coming home. He gonna do a backflip in the office. It's gonna be great to have you, man.
That's good. That's good.
I fuck with Richardson.
Yeah. No double numbers for Rich and NMU. But
yeah,
thank you for listening. This has been Division I Rejects. Trying to think who we've got on later this week. We'll find out. But our D3 insider, Jimmy Martin, will be back on later this week. That is a certainty. So be excited for it. But thank you. Thank you for listening. So that's watching. Have a good night. Jesus. Pterodactyl. Or a javelina.